Hey everybody, glad to have you with us today. My name's Brian Volpone and this is the Steady Steps podcast. There's something about the middle of the night that just pulls out every memory and regret or fear that you've ever had, and it turns them loose all at once on you. And maybe it starts with something embarrassing, like a dumb thing you said in a meeting last week, or some awkward comment that you made at a party. And in the moment, it wasn't that big of a deal, but now you're lying in bed in the middle of the night, your brain replays it on repeat, and the longer you think about it, the more it grows until it feels like everybody else must be thinking about it too. And maybe it's not even something recent. Maybe it's something you did or said years ago, even as a teenager, and it still makes you wince. You haven't thought about it in months, maybe even years. And suddenly at 2 a.m, there it is, fresh and sharp all again. And sometimes it's not embarrassment, it's guilt. It's a decision that you regret or a mistake you made that hurt somebody else, something you wish you could undo, and it comes out to haunt you when it's dark and there's nothing else to distract you. And that's when you feel the weight of it all over again. And then there are future worries, money, health, your job, your kids. All the things you manage to keep in perspective during the day suddenly start to loom larger at night. Even when nothing's actually changed, your mind convinces you that disaster is just around the corner. And then, of course, there's all those irrational fears that sneak in. You know, the little ones that you know are ridiculous, but that still seem so convincing at 2 a.m. You know, did I leave the hairdryer plugged in? Is the roof leaking and I don't know it? What was the creak in the hallway? Your imagination fills in the blanks, and suddenly you're lying there, wide awake, your heart's racing over something that makes no sense in the light of day. The middle of the night works like a funhouse mirror. Everything is distorted, and tiny problems stretch into monsters. Old regrets loom larger than life, and even the most far-fetched fears are somehow strangely believable in the dark. So why does that happen? Why does anxiety hit us harder in the middle of the night? And then, more importantly, what can you do about it? So let's talk about sleepless anxiety.
Okay, so we've probably all been there, right? You're asleep, maybe really deeply asleep, and then bam, you just bolt awake.
Yeah.
Could be 3 a.m., 3:33, whatever. And before you're even really awake, your heart's pounding, you feel tense. And your mind, instead of being, sleepy, it just jumps straight into worst case scenarios. Everything feels terrible. It's a really isolating feeling.
It really is. And, right off the bat, we want to say in this deep dive, if that's you, if you get that sleepless anxiety, you are so not alone. Seriously.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of personal failing. It's actually a super common thing biologically and psychologically.
And that's what we really want to get into today. We've looked at a lot of material because we want to do two things. First, understand the science, like why does it happen then at that hour?
Right.
And second, find some simple, practical things you can actually do, ways to respond, not just react when it hits.
Exactly. And let's just ground this with some numbers straight away, because the connection between bad sleep and anxiety, it's rock solid. Yeah. So about 12% of Americans deal with chronic insomnia. That's a lot of people.
Why, yeah.
But here's the kicker. If you have insomnia, you're almost 10 times more likely to also have clinical anxiety compared to good sleepers. It's this really strong feedback loop.
10 times. That's huge.
It is. So again, if you're the one wide awake at 3 a.m., heart racing, mind spinning, you're in very, very good company, unfortunately.
So let's unpack that why. Why 3 a.m.? It feels like the absolute worst time, like your brain's just picking on you. But you're saying the body is actually set up for this.
That's the really fascinating part. It's not just your thoughts going wild randomly. There's a hormonal basis. Your body, around 2 or 3 a.m., naturally starts ramping up cortisol.
The stress hormone.
The main stress hormone, yeah. We actually need it. It helps prepare us to wake up, get going. Back in the day, maybe it helped you wake up if a predator was around or something. Get ready for the day.
So my body's hitting the alert button, getting ready for action.
Yeah.
Even though the only action is maybe rolling over.
Pretty much. And that cortisol surge, even if it's slight, causes real physical changes. Your heart rate might go up a little, blood pressure too. Breathing might get shallower.
Okay, I feel that. The racing heart is definitely part of it.
Right. And those physical feelings, your brain reads them as evidence. It thinks, uh-oh, body's on alert, something must be wrong. So the physical feeling feeds the mental anxiety. It happens even to calm people because it's just your body's natural clock.
And the mind jumps in because it's got nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
During the day, we're busy. Emails, calls, noise, people.
Exactly. All those distractions keep the analytical part of your brain busy. But at 3 a.m., it's dark, it's quiet, you're just lying there.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from your own thoughts.
Precisely. So the mind turns inward. And what does it find? Problems. Or, well, things it thinks are problems.
Like that email you forgot to send or that slightly awkward thing someone said.
Yep. And those little things you brushed off during the day suddenly feel huge. They're not just minor worries anymore. They feel like urgent crises.
It's like your brain runs this simulation, right? I forgot the email becomes, I'm going to get fired, lose my house.
That negative spiral, yeah. It just escalates incredibly fast in that quiet darkness.
Okay, so this brings us to something really important for breaking the cycle.
Mm.
Perspective. Realizing the 3 a.m. brain is different.
That's the key insight, I think. The brain you have lying there in the dark is fundamentally not the same operating system you have at, say, 9 a.m. drinking coffee.
So the catastrophe I'm imagining isn't necessarily real.
Almost certainly not at the scale it feels. What seems like a 5-alarm fire at 3 a.m. often looks like a tiny, manageable spark in the daylight. And there's a brain reason for that distortion.
Tell me about that. Why does rational thought just desert us?
It's mainly about the prefrontal cortex. That's the bit behind your forehead, the brain's CEO.
Mm.
It does rational thinking, planning, emotional control, judging risks.
The adult in the room.
Exactly. But during deep sleep stages, and even as you're just coming out of them, the prefrontal cortex is kind of offline. Less blood flow, less activity. It's resting.
So if the CEO's snoozing, who's running the show?
The amygdala, that's your brain's little alarm system. It's more active, partly because of that cortisol, and it senses potential threats. But critically, it doesn't have the CEO's ability to say, okay, how serious is this really?
So the alarm is blaring, but the part that can assess the situation is asleep on the job.
You got it. So your brain literally lacks the regulation to calmly think, hey, that email can wait. Just knowing that distortion is happening, knowing my brain isn't thinking straight right now, can actually be calming in itself. You realize the feeling is real, but the interpretation is probably skewed.
That makes sense. Just say,
Yeah.
okay, brain, you're lying to me, could be step one, which leads to the strategies, and the first one sounds wrong. Acceptance, don't fight it.
It sounds totally wrong, but it's crucial. Think about it. When you lie there getting frustrated, thinking, ugh, I have to sleep. Why am I awake again? What are you doing?
Stressing out more, I guess.
Exactly. You're dumping more adrenaline and cortisol into the system. You're basically telling your body, yep, you are right to sound the alarm. This is a crisis. Fighting the anxiety fuels it.
But accepting it, doesn't that just mean giving up? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I'm just going to be awake and miserable.
It's not giving up. It's stopping the fight. It's acknowledging without judgment, just noticing, okay, I'm awake, my heart is racing a bit. When you do that, you stop adding fuel to the fire. You interrupt the escalation. You're subtly telling your brain, this feeling isn't dangerous. And then once you stop fighting, you can start actively soothing.
Okay, I'm starting to see it. So once I accept this is happening, what are the tools? How do I actively soothe?
We need things to anchor us physically and mentally. First up, your breath. It's the one thing you can consciously control that directly tells your nervous system to calm down.
Like those breathing exercises.
Exactly. Simple ones work great, like 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts. That long exhale is key. It slows the heart rate and signals safety. Box breathing works too, in for 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4.
So focus on the breath to calm the body. What about the mind that's still trying to solve all the world's problems?
We need to give it something else to do, something steady. Repeating a calming phrase or a mantra can be incredibly helpful. It acts like a mental anchor.
What kind of phrase?
Could be something really simple and neutral, like just calm, or I am safe, just repeat it gently. Or for some people, a spiritual phrase provides a much deeper sense of grounding and peace.
I think I saw an example mentioned.
Yeah, one example given was from Isaiah. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. For people who connect with that, it offers the sense of external stability that's really powerful when your internal world feels chaotic. The point isn't the specific words as much as having a repetitive, calming focus for the mind.
Got it. Breath for the body, mantra for the mind. What else? There was something about a body scan.
Right, that's another great technique. It shifts your focus away from the racing thoughts and into physical sensations. Instead of battling the worries, you just mentally travel through your body.
How does that work?
You just bring your attention, say, to your feet. Notice any tension. Consciously try to release it. Then move up to your calves, your thighs, your stomach. Noticing and releasing tension in your jaw, your shoulders, places we hold stress. It grounds you in the present moment and promotes physical relaxation.
Okay, those make sense for when you're in bed. What about the last two tips? They seemed more external, like writing things down.
Yeah, the write it down technique, super practical. Keep a notebook and pen by your bed. When a worry just keeps looping and feels incredibly urgent, physically write it down.
Why does that help?
It's like you're offloading it. You're telling your brain, okay, I hear you. This thought is important enough to write down. It's captured. We don't need to keep spinning on it right now. We'll deal with it tomorrow. It acknowledges the thought without letting it run rampant. It parks the worry.
Parking the worry. I like that. And the final one. What if you've tried breathing, mantras, everything, and you're just getting more and more frustrated in bed?
Then you change the scenery. If you've been tossing and turning for, say, 20 minutes and just getting more worked up, get out of bed. Staying there just reinforces the bed anxiety link.
Where do you go? What do you do?
Go to another room, do something quiet and relaxing for maybe 10 minutes, gentle stretching, reading a boring book. The key thing here is light exposure. Keep it very dim. No bright lights, and definitely no phone screen.
Right, because blue light wakes you up.
Exactly. It tells your brain it's daytime and shuts down melatonin production. So dim light, quiet activity, just to break the cycle of frustration associated with being in bed awake. Then, when you feel sleepy again, go back to bed.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. Sleepless anxiety, especially around that 3 a.m. mark, is super common.
Yep. Totally normal. It's tied to that natural cortisol spike your body does.
And that spike, plus the quiet darkness, makes your brain temporarily bad at judging threats, so small worries feel huge.
Absolutely. Your rational brain is partly offline.
So the goal isn't necessarily to force yourself back to sleep immediately.
No, the goal is to stop fighting it. Respond gently. Accept the feeling. Use your breath to calm your body. Use a mantra or body scan to anchor your mind.
And if a worry won't let go, write it down. Park it.
Park it. And if frustration builds, change the context. Get up briefly, do something calming in dim light, interrupt the cycle.
It's about responding calmly, not reacting with more panic.
That's the core idea. Respond to your body, don't just react to the thoughts.
Okay. And as we wrap up, here's maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If your brain can take a minor issue at 3 a.m. and blow it up into a catastrophe, maybe think about other stresses in your daytime life. Could any of those also be amplified 2 a.m. problems in disguise? Things that feel huge but might look different if you step back and gave them a calm, rational, daylight review? It's worth asking, right? Question those assumptions.
That's a really powerful takeaway. Applying that 3 a.m. distortion lens to our daytime worries. Fascinating. Well, thanks for exploring this with us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in for this deep dive. We appreciate you spending the time.
The middle of the night is like standing in front of a carnival mirror. Everything gets stretched and distorted and blown out of proportion, and a small mistake looks like a catastrophe. A minor fear feels like it's going to break your world. But just like those funhouse mirrors, the distortion isn't reality. Daylight is going to help bring things back to their true size. And remember, it's not your fault that worries feel bigger at 2 a.m. Your body is literally wired for it. Your cortisol rises, melatonin dips, and your system is just primed for stress. Doesn't mean you're weak or broken. It just means you need to give yourself permission to not solve everything in the dark. When the night feels overwhelming, try telling yourself, this may feel huge right now, but morning is coming. If it's still a problem tomorrow, I'll face it with rest and daylight. Many years ago, my wife Beverly and I came up with a saying that's stuck with us. Nothing is right in the middle of the night. And when we're awake dealing with anxiety, we try to remind ourselves that. I was telling Bev about this topic while I was preparing for this episode, and she said that it just rolled some of the stress away just knowing there's scientific reasons that we struggle with this. So if you only remember one thing from this episode, let it be this. Nothing is right in the middle of the night. If you're lying awake with wild thoughts running through your head, breathe and give yourself grace and wait for the morning. Your clarity is going to return and your strength is going to come with it. I hope this has been helpful. It's a good topic. If you think of somebody that might benefit from this, please share it with them. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'd love for you to leave a comment so I know how this has affected you. Thanks, guys. Talk to you next time.
You've been listening to the Steady Steps podcast, thoughtful moments and practical insights to help you walk a more intentional path. This show is written and produced by Brian Volpone with M1016 Productions. Our theme music is generated with Mubert. AI voice performances and discussions are supported by Notebook LM, Gemini, and ChatGPT. You can learn more, listen to past episodes, or get in touch at steadystepspodcast.com or email us at any time at steps@steadystepspodcast.com. Thanks for listening and keep taking steady steps.